Hello guys, this is your boy Draken97 or Hellsinger. Call me however you like. All three names are valid. Um yeah, this is a guide about under Gyffin, how to do it as a lower gear player, and of course my tips and tricks on how not to die under that. And we have like a few minutes of a clip of the entire hour grind sped up so you can see exactly how I played while I was live streaming. Now, my average trash loot per hour in under Gyffin is around 9k. During stream, I did 8.8k, as you guys are going to see, so it's a little bit lower, but it's still around that area. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing I would like to talk about is the gear I'm using. I am not as highly geared. Actually, I'm considered under geared for lower Gyffin. Gyffin requires 300 AP and 880 DP, according to the game. That doesn't mean you'll get it, and you cannot really do under Gyffin with having lower gear. Now, of course, I have my Labresca. If you guys have a double falling god, a duo, that would be a really good boost inside Rave ability, but I don't have that. My bags are C6 and my Eurogons are C4. My D3 is also C6. Now, I'm using this gear on Succession Warrior, and I'm using the AP artifact set. The Wild. It gives me extra monstrous 9 and all that. So, what else am I using? I'm using a Symbol Chromial, and I'm using a Drought. Actually, I'm using a Frenzy Drought. It's this one right here. So you can either craft this or buy this. I usually just buy it, but there are some times I'm just buying Frenzy Drought and mix it with Breath of Corruption, which I keep stacking in Caltheon, if I'm not mistaken, which I have 53 of those, and I can just make. So, Annual Gyffin is a spot which requires you to know the mechanics. At first, you guys are going to die a lot. I'm going to link Gramtree guides in the description. Read about the mechanics, and hopefully, you guys are going to understand my movement through the sped up clip and all that. One last piece of advice about Under Gyffin is move a lot. Do not stay still for a second. The spot is going to punish you. Aim for back attacks. This is super important. When I first started, I was making 6k just by DPSing, but then I started positioning myself way better with aiming for back attacks, and my trash went all the way up to 9k. So positioning in Gyffin and of course aiming not to die is actually super important for you to survive. When you get despairs, you shouldn't really focus that much on despair, killing the one mob instantly. Just keep doing the rotation and the mob will follow you. That way you can make sure you're doing the mechanic correctly and you're not wasting any time on one mob. And of course do that for the fragments as well, since they all going to follow you anyways. And when you get a butcher, just focus getting the back attacks on the butcher. When he's about to dash, go behind him or dash behind him. Don't really try to Q block any of his attacks. It doesn't really work. I've been CC'd and hit multiple times on my Q block trying to tank them up. Don't try it. Just go from behind and just DPS it with back attacks. Now, without further ado, here is how the grind went down. So, a little something I forgot to touch upon when I was talking about my gear is my add-ons. So, these are my add-ons. This is my add-ons I use in general. So, if you're playing Succession Warrior, feel free to copy it. I don't think those are the best add-ons around, but I just feel most comfortable using those add-ons. And regarding my crystal setup, so I'm using an A-Crack crystal for the monster AP and the attack speed. I'm using a Rebellious for all the AP, Dark Fangs for the critical hit and the AP, and of course Ancient Crimson Flame, Corrupted, and Gin Vipers and Alkas. So I really think this is like the most optimal setup for me right now, since I don't have those slots unlocked. I don't own a Gum of Hot, and thus I cannot use those slots to get two Inkrants over here and another one Rebellious in. And plus I'm lacking the accuracy, so I still have to use two Alkas instead of two more Power Crystals, and I still need to use Gin Vipers. So since I'm a Gillet, this is the setup I'm actually using. So right now I feel I've covered everything, and you all should be able to like follow this guide for your own purposes.
поколений мужчин, выращенных женщинами? Поможет ли другая женщина в решении наших проблем?
DJ GLK.
Esse é o DJ Luiz do Grau, dando grau nos beats, cachorro.
Novinha do ABC, vou te comer, vou te comer, vou te comer. E aí, DJ GLK.
Esse é o DJ Luiz do Grau, dando grau nos beats, cachorro.
So, as you guys can see, we're back in Grana. So, yeah, that was a grind. Do I really recommend doing Gyffin in this gear? Well, if you want to hit 64 like me, like you don't really have much of a choice. Like the alternative is Orcs. Then Gyffin is really good Caphras. Like 73 Caphras an hour with the daily is an extremely good number. So yeah, if you are up for the challenge, if you are looking for a more challenging spot, and if you really want to sweat a lot, yeah, go for it. Okay, guys, so without further ado, that was the guide. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.